We're back from another Western Wednesdays, and this week I'm joined with Missouri Western's head football coach, Tyler Fenwick. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And let's talk about the offseason. When does that officially start? When do the weightlifting start, practices?
Well, once the second semester, the spring semester starts, that's when we start kicking into the weight room and the development program with Coach Fears and the strength staff and all that stuff. And that goes for about 8 weeks while we're kind of finishing up recruiting. And then we get into spring practice, and I think we started right after spring break, where March 18th we started, and you get 15 practices over the course of 36 days that you got to fit in there, and so it's good. It's an opportunity for us to look at what the future looks like and where the competitions are and all that stuff.
Yeah, and every offseason brings in new players, old
Yeah.
players leave. So is it kind of that buy-in period of what that identity of the team's going to be?
Yeah, you're trying to find out what it's going to look like and what your personnel is going to look like and what young guys that we had from last year that were, maybe redshirt freshmen that were on scout team, and who's ready, who's developed, and who's ready to kind of get into the two deep and into the competitions and fight for positions and all that stuff. Because once you get into fall camp in August, you got 3 weeks to get ready for your first game, so you don't have a lot of time to look at position battles necessarily. It's you kind of have an idea of who's competing for those spots and trying to get them ready for game one. So spring ball is pretty critical as far as just the competition and kind of having an idea what your depth chart's going to look like.
Yeah, and what's going to be huge is this coming weekend with the spring game.
Yeah.
So as a coach, what do you look for? Do you look at that individual position for each player?
Yeah, I mean every practice is graded. So we've gone through 14 practices now, and so we grade each player and how they're doing and where they're doing and evaluate them, and so they kind of know, where they're at, and so when we get into the spring game, it's kind of like it's almost like a final exam in a sense where they get to put on the pads, the fans are out there. It's kind of it's a fun event, really. And the 14 practices more real practices and putting them in situations, and the spring game is kind of to top it off and finish it out. And so we'll have a social beforehand for alumni and kind of an alumni weekend. We got our golf tournament on Saturday morning. So it should be a really good, fun event for the kids. They, put the real jerseys on and they get excited for it. So,
and time and place for the people that are interested in going.
Yeah. So the social is a fundraiser that will start at 5 o'clock. We're actually going to tie this in with the lacrosse game. Lacrosse has a game on Friday. They start at 4 o'clock, and then right when they finish up, hopefully they win. And then we'll start our spring practice, our spring game right after the lacrosse game. So, yeah, should be good. 6:30 should be about when we start.
All right, some early competition.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. We're excited for it, Coach. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me. Sounds good. Thank you.